The mother of the church shooter, who has been described as Ms. Westman by the New York Times, is refusing to talk to the police. She's acquired a criminal defense lawyer. Lawyer says she's completely distraught but has no culpability and is seeking an attorney, quote, who deals with calls like this. As you know, 2 children were killed, 18 others injured, including 15 children. The authorities now say that the shooter fired 116 rifle rounds and that he wanted to, quote, watch children suffer, close quote. There was 1 bullet from a live handgun that appears to have malfunctioned and got stuck in the chamber. Authorities say that Westman had, quote, a deranged fascination with previous mass shooters. We talked about that yesterday. And they left behind hundreds of pages of writing that express hate towards, quote, almost every group imaginable, close quote, said the acting U.S. attorney for the District of Minnesota. The police have been in touch with the shooter's father. It's not clear yet whether the shooter lived with his mom or his dad. He's previously been linked to 3 different addresses. What is known is that the FBI was seen outside the shooter's mother's house. Her name is Grace Westman. She has a condo in Naples, Florida. But reportedly, she fled her home. According to NBC, the police were called to a Minneapolis area townhouse where Grace Westman and her son lived 7 years ago. Quote, the heavily redacted police report obtained from the police department in Eagan, Minnesota, is dated January 26, 2018, and it includes a 2-word description explaining why an officer was dispatched to that address. The 2-word description was mental health. Report also said the cops had, quote, assisted Minota Heights with a check welfare of a juvenile. This police report was preceded by another one 2 years earlier when cops responded to a, quote, criminal offense, close quote, at the home. But most of the report's content has been redacted. Now, Robin Westman is believed to have once attended the school at Annunciation Catholic Church. The mom, Mary Grace Westman, worked in the business office for 5 years before retiring in 2021. Robin Westman lived in a 3-story brick building in a complex in Richmond, a suburb just south of the church. On social media, according to the New York Times, some conservative activists have seized on the shooter's gender identity to broadly portray transgender people as violent or mentally ill. And the New York Times routinely refers to Westman as Ms. Westman. Again, this is from the New York Times. Quote, the right-wing uproar over Ms. Westman's gender identity echoed the politicized reaction to a 2023 mass shooting at the Covenant School in Nashville, which was carried out by a former student whom the police said was transgender. So the whole take here is that the crazy, wacky, right-wing mega crowd is making a big deal out of Westman's transgender status when a big deal should not be made out of the shooter's transgender status. Never mind the shooter herself, to use the pronoun preferred by the New York Times, was very angry at himself for being transgender. He confessed he was, quote, tired of being trans, that he wished he was, quote, never been brainwashed, close quote. He also said this, quote, I only keep the long hair because it is pretty much my last shred of being trans. I am tired of being trans. I wish I never brainwashed myself. I can't cut my hair now, as it would be an embarrassing defeat, and it might be a concerning change of character that could get me reported. It just always gets in my way. I will probably chop it on the day of the attack. He also wrote this, but we're not supposed to make any big deal out of this, says the New York Times, because after all, his being trans had nothing whatever to do with why he shot up that school. Quote, I regret being trans. I wish I was a girl. I just know I cannot achieve that body with the technology we have today. I also can't afford that. I like feeling sexy and cute, but my face never matches how I feel. I hate my face. Maybe that's why I like furries so much. You can give yourself a new body and face. I want to be that black face mask on Beyonce's body. LMAO. That stands for laughing my blank off. Again, Westman applied to change his birth name from Robert to Robin when he was 17 years old. Mom had to file it because he was a minor. The name change was granted in January 2020. The petition said Westman, quote, identifies as a female and wants her name to reflect that identification, close quote. But 5 years later, he seems to have regretted it. Quote, I don't want to dress girly all the time, but I guess sometimes I really like it. I know I am not a woman, but I definitely don't feel like a man, close quote. He said 5 years after he changed his name. Meanwhile, the governor of Minnesota, facing criticism after it was revealed that his administration denied repeated requests from Catholic schools for more money for security, despite a $17.6 billion state budget surplus, and despite having approved similar funds for public schools. The Minneapolis Catholic Conference, which represents 6 Catholic dioceses, submitted letters in 2022 and 2023 urging the governor to include non-public schools, Catholic, Christian, Jewish, and Muslims schools in the state's Safe Schools program and related to other security initiatives. Public schools received tens of millions of dollars in grants. Catholic schools were denied, and this is after the March 2023 Covenant School shooting in Nashville, where 6 people, including 3 children, were killed.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.